Hey everyone, Big Mike
and Terence
here for our annual top 5 of 2013.
We're going to do something a little different this year. Now, as you guys know, longtime chargeback Army soldiers, and for you new guys, wow, I can talk today. This is our last filming of 2013, and I'm kind of really weird about it. For all of our new fans, all of our new friends that have decided to give us a chance to come watch, we do a top 5 or a top 10 depending on what's what every year. And we have a criteria.
That's right, we're very strict about it actually. The criteria is we nominate games that we've actually played, either played completely all the way through, or at least spent dozens and dozens and dozens of hours on to get a good feel for them as well. Like we just feel, Terence and I talked about it many times, there's way too many other sites out there or videos that just nominate things because they hear this game was good, or people expect this game to be on the list, so I better mention it. And we're totally not that. You guys know us, we're gamers, we're not fanboys, we play every game for every bloody system out there. So that's something we're very strict with ourselves on. Alright guys, top 5.
Oh man, the anticipation.
Yeah, this was really difficult as we discussed before because there's so many freaking good games this year. But here it is. Alright, number 5, DMC Devil May Cry. Here's the deal. This game has been controversial since the day of its inception when they first released some promo art years ago. People were upset with it. And here's what happens. Okay, I want to say it. Hold on, let me get a bit more comfortable here. Really clear here. They changed Dante's hair to black, and he swears now.
And his hair's short.
And his hair's short. So, if you can't get over that fact and enjoy this freaking brilliant action game, then you know what? Go fuck yourself. If that is seriously like the biggest problem you have, and people wonder why, oh, gamers get this bad reputation for being whiny little, self-absorbed pricks. Well, that's probably why, because people bitched and moaned and protested against Capcom and refused to buy the game because Dante's hair is black and he swears. Well, you know what? You missed out on a fucking great game. Ninja Theory, who has made Heavenly Sword and Enslaved, they know action games. The freaking play control is super slick. The combo system in this game is better than any other Devil May Cry. And the Devil May Cry games have always had wicked combo systems. The music, as Terry mentioned, fucking Combi Christ. Like, I'm a huge heavy metal fan, and goddamn, it sounded great. The colors. Like, that whole opening scene with the reds and everything, like the Unreal Engine just freaking cooks on this game. So exciting, so well done. So if you can, toss aside the fact that you piss yourself crying because someone's hair is a different color, then you will enjoy this game. Definitely.
I thought it wouldn't have been a problem outside of DeviantArt's website. Right. Whatever.
Yeah, so there you go. So, number 5, DMC Devil May Cry. Alright, number 4, finally a game for the Wii U that doesn't make me regret buying the system.
Wii U!
So I'm talking of course about Super Mario 3D Land. I was actually one of the ones who was a bit worried when they first announced this because I said the same thing. It's like, oh, I was kind of hoping for maybe like a sequel to Mario 64 or something like that, not a reskinned essentially 3DS game, which the 3DS game was awesome, but nothing wrong with that, but I was hoping for maybe a bit more. That was all crushed within 5 seconds of playing this game. Again, what does Nintendo do right? They do a ton of things wrong, but what do they always do right? Their first party games are fun as hell.
Almost always fun.
Yeah, almost always fun as hell. And so my first experience was playing with Terence and Jason from 3KB. We had a 3-player, and like multiplayer Mario games we just discovered with the new Super Mario games were terrible because they weren't designed to be a 4-player game. This game actually was. And so then I had my copy sitting at home, so after we had our little party, I just played through it. Then my girlfriend came over, and who does not play video games, and she sat there till 2 in the morning on a Saturday playing this freaking game and complaining because we didn't have all the stars in certain levels. We had to go back and get those freaking stars.
Damn fucking right.
Yeah. So the game looks gorgeous. It's a rock solid 60 frames a second, running in 720p. And this is the first time we've seen, HD stuff from Nintendo. It's so colorful, so beautiful, it's so much imagination. The cat suit, the best power-up in the history of Mario games. And it's just so much freaking fun. Like, if you want fun, there it is. Is it a system seller? I suppose. Like, is the Wii U finally got their killer app? I would say, yeah, this is,
If you consider the Wii U a next generation console.
That's true. That's true.
It is the only next generation console that has a killer app.
That's true.
At this point, as a recording of December 20
something or other.
Whatever.
All right. So number 4, Super Mario 3D Land. Number 3, no big surprise here. I'm not going to talk about it long because judging by its sales numbers, everyone watching this video owns it. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. I've always really enjoyed the Grand Theft Auto games. I still say Vice City is my favorite, probably because I'm a child of the 80s and that whole soundtrack and the whole Miami Vice theme was just amazing. But there's no denying the brilliance of Grand Theft Auto 5. Talk about getting money's worth out of a game. You know, like a lot of these games are, 8 hours long or whatever and have multiplayer tacked on and whatever. It is what it is. Like 80% of the games are like that. But wow, there's just so much to do. Like you could, like in any Grand Theft Auto game, you can just go and mess around for hours and never get bored. Is it a little bit of still the same, like little wash, rinse, repeat from other Grand Theft Autos? Of course it is. But then again, look at it, like pretty much every other game is too. Like Mario, I'm still jumping on Goombas, and any first-person shooter, I'm still looking down the iron sights and shooting. So that's what it is. So like I said, I'm not gonna talk about it long. I'm sure almost all of you have played it and bought it because the game has sold us millions and millions of copies, and Rockstar is just. I actually have to deal with Rockstar professionally at my job, and I called them once about, actually they sent me a list of stuff to buy for our company, I put in all these bids for all this product, and they actually got back to me and said they were too busy dealing with Grand Theft Auto 5, they couldn't get back to me, so I made the joke to my rep, said, what, you guys just sitting there with money counters all day long? He's like, yeah, pretty much.
Make it rain, make it rain.
So, number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Now it gets interesting.
Yeah, now it gets interesting, because here we go. So number 2, a game that I was very much anticipating because I wanted to enjoy it because for me the series had just literally fallen off the face of the earth. So number 2 is Tomb Raider.
Nice.
Wow. I almost don't know what to say about it because it's so damn good. It's like, so I know a lot of people saying, well, oh, it's just a copy of Uncharted or all that, but I'm thinking to myself, well, Uncharted was heavily influenced by Indiana Jones, which the original Lara Croft was written by Indiana Jones, and Indiana Jones was influenced by the serials of the 1920s and whatnot, so it just kind of all goes back. But the Tomb Raider, it's so, like you mentioned the word visceral when you're talking about Bioshock Infinite. Visceral is definitely the word I'll use for Tomb Raider. Like, Lara Croft, listen, the character is still, of course, very attractive in the whole deal. She actually looks like a human this time, unlike previous games where she looked like a, I don't know, plasticine mannequin. But
something would be found in your game room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. But she is like a human being in this game, and you really feel for her. Like she goes through hell through this entire game, and she doesn't remain pretty for long. Like she's dirty and cut and beat up, and I don't know. It's just so well done. Like there's moments, like there's a lot of set pieces in the game, like very similar to Uncharted where you're running down, things are crashing around you and all that, but you feel it almost more in this game. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you're a female protagonist, and I always said to these guys, like when I ever play a game, when there's multi-characters to pick from, I always pick the female protagonist usually. And they ask, well, why is that? And I'm like, well, you could look at it like I pick Cammy in Street Fighter because I find her quicker and I can, I'm better with her and all that, or other games. But for me, it's almost like maybe it's a bit of the chauvinistic part of me where you want to protect. You want to protect, exactly. If you're like listen, I love Gears of War, but listen, you're a big linebacker-sized guy, and you don't really feel like you're in any imminent danger or anything like that. You don't feel like you need to protect some guy who wears 350 pounds and 80 pounds worth of armor. But for some odd reason, when you're playing a female protagonist, you almost feel like I gotta protect this. Maybe it sounds very chauvinistic, but maybe a bit more danger here because in Tomb Raider, you're a 120-pound girl, in this horrendous environment, being hunted down by these cultists and whatnot. So the game itself, now thankfully it is coming out, like as Terence mentioned earlier, for PS4 and Xbox One very, very soon, like literally in a few weeks. I actually will be buying it again. I'm actually going to buy it on the next-gen system. I enjoyed the game so much, I'll be more than happy to play through it again and having it look even better this time around.
Oh, excellent. Feminists, please, comments below. That's all in Big Mike. Just letting you know. Everything that Big Mike said is Big Mike. What's the number 1 game?
Number 1. A game that, here we go, here's a company that has, I don't even know how to say this, they've really helped Sony. I'm talking about Naughty Dog, so number 1 is Last of Us. So here's a company that really knows technology and really knows how to work storylines. Like they've been around forever. They made Way the Warrior on 3DO, and but on the PlayStation 1, then they made Crash Bandicoot, and same thing. I almost find like Crash Bandicoot like Uncharted. Like the first Crash Bandicoot was okay. Like the first Uncharted was a good game, but it was okay. But Part 2 just blew me out of the water. And same with Crash Bandicoot 2 blew me out of the water. So then they did the Jack and Daxter games and all that. So these guys really know what they're doing. And because they work with one particular piece of hardware their entire careers, they can really make the system do what no one else can. And that's the thing, like Last of Us just looks, much better than most PS3 games out there. It doesn't suffer from like drop frame rates and low texture wrapping and anything like that. It's just a beautiful looking game. But the most important thing about the game is not its beauty, and it is a beautiful game. It's the story. It takes chances. And I so badly, because I don't want to spoil anything, and anyone who has played it will know what I'm talking about. It's very unapologetic about making the characters human. One of the things that they do in most games, and it's fine because you're always playing the hero, is you're always doing the right thing, or making the right decisions, or you're always there for the good of whatever. This game shows what people can be really like. The selfishness really takes over.
What drives humanity?
Yeah, exactly. And it is definitely about survival, because there's an outbreak. It's another zombie type outbreak, but there's a bit more to it than that. But when it comes down to survival, and we've seen it in real life, all throughout the history even. Humans, when it comes to survival, become complete bastards and will do whatever it takes to survive. And it's a very animalistic, animals do that as well. Like there's cases where animals become cannibalistic and will eat their young to survive. It's just genetically encoded in us. When you survive, you do whatever it takes. And that's the one thing I really, really enjoyed about The Last of Us, is that it shows the dark side of humanity and offers no apology. And there are moments in the game where you're just kind of sitting there like, oh crap, because it's just a decision was made by a character where it's not like in another game where they're like, I'm gonna save the day and everyone's gonna be fine and don't worry, we'll get through this, kid. It's not like that at all. So I have to commend Naughty Dog for, again, just pushing their freaking genres. Like, they do such a great job. Like, this is why I love the fact that there's no fanboyism, because you just get to enjoy everything. And my God, like anyone who's rejected the PlayStation has just missed out on this great company. And I can't wait to see what they're doing. They're going to do in the future, and I really hope they always push technology, but I really hope they continue to push storylines and characters. And like Joel and Ellie are so believable in this game. As you don't even you start playing and you don't even think about them as video game characters. You think about them as people again, and it's fantastic. So I could go on forever, but I'm going to cut it right there and just say #1 game of the year for 2013, very easily, The Last of Us.
And spoiler alert, you don't actually, as main characters, eat your children. Just want to put that out. Okay, alright. My top 5 games.
Tangent is over.
Tangent. Number 5. I was going to rate this game a little higher, but when I talk about number 4, you'll understand why. For me, video games, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for you, fuck, we've been doing this show since pretty much summer of 2010.
Yep.
Everybody that has watched since the beginning or has gone back and watched the show, you can see the dynamic that Big Mike and I have. Our ideologies, our outlook on games as an art form and where it's going, and you kind of tell it. We kind of know. We have a good eye for this shit, You'll never hear us say Madden is a great game. Madden is a good game for people that like football, but it is not going to fucking further the art.
No.
Hey, for everybody that works on Madden, good on you. For everybody that buys Madden, I really hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know it's a good franchise, whatever, but the Madden game will never be on my radar. And I'm sorry, I don't know about you, Mike, but I actually used to play the old ones on Sega Genesis.
I was just going to say, the Genesis ones I played all the time.
Yeah, and Joe Montana Sports Talk Football, fucking word up, man, but whatever, I don't like football anymore, so I can't. Sorry. Splinter Cell Blacklist comes in as number 5 on my top 5 list. I'm sorry, it's just me tonight. As much as I love Conviction, there was always a part of me that wished Splinter Cell Conviction was what they originally promised.
Oh yeah, remember those early videos of it, yeah.
And I have a feeling maybe Assassin's Creed benefited from that kind of game design, and we don't really talk about Assassin's Creed, so draw your conclusions. I really feel bad about that one, but whatever. It was nice with the new game to see kind of return to Chaos Theory. I love sticking in shadows and stabbing people to death from behind. You know, whatever. That's for me. You know, like it's kind of funny. Like Metal Gear Solid may be the more popular game, but when it comes to fucking stealth espionage, don't fuck around.
Yeah,
man.
no, I agree.
Splinter Cell has been consistent since the very first game. And I'll say right now, I've never played a portable version of it, so I'm not open to that argument, but every console Splinter Cell game has been amazing. There's only been 2 since we've been doing this show, both of them have ended up on my top 5. Had we done this show before, the other ones would have as well. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Alright, we don't need to get into it, fuck. Whatever, we lost Tom Clancy this year, that kind of sucks, but I have a feeling he wasn't really writing Splinter Cell anyways. Man, I'm sorry guys, I'm just all over the place tonight, I'm sorry. Number four. This was a tough one to talk about, to categorize, to include in my top 5, but it's the game, with the exception of my number 1 pick, it is the game that stuck with me the most since I played it. And it's a beautiful game. It's a game that transcends. It transcends sitting in front of a TV or sitting in front of my projector and playing it. Since it's cold up here in Raccoon City now, and we kind of got a bit of a winter snap early when I would go outside to meet my girlfriend. She's coming home from work. I'll get this sense. I haven't really felt this sense really since I played Shenmue, where you go outside and you still feel that a part of you is in the game, and I think that's a huge accomplishment. The game that I'm talking about is Beyond Two Souls. It's a Quantic Dream game. It's come from the makers of Heavy Rain, which also made, did it make yours? It made mine. From 2000, whatever.
I actually didn't make mine. It would be like one of my honorable mentions. So I really did enjoy it.
As much as I like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls was a better experience. Not a better game, but a better experience. I've never had the opportunity to do so much in a game. It stars Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe. This is kind of like the one end of the spectrum where it's like, do you really need like big name actors in it? Whatever. Willem Dafoe is Willem Dafoe, but Ellen Page fucking rocked.
Yeah, yes, Canadian.
Yeah, she rocked.
Yeah.
She made it a great experience for me. I kind of laughed at her rebellious teen kind of parts, but you play her as a child, you play her as a teenager, you play her as a young adult. Like, well, as an adult, I would have liked to have had another thing, like have her in her 30s or 40s or 50s, you know, but whatever, right? It didn't serve the purpose of the story. It really stuck with me, and I think it's what Tom Zito and all those people back from Digital Pictures and Full Motion Video tried to do before Sega CD, you know, what do they call that? Hasbro's thing? Whatever the fuck. You just
look
that up.
Yeah.
But anyways, great experience. Not the best game in the world, but definitely one of my favorite gaming experiences of the generation. I'll go so far as to say that. Kind of frantic, and I just liked it. You know, sue me, whatever.
I enjoyed it myself. Especially there's a chapter called My Invisible Friend.
Oh god,
it's my favorite chapter in the game. Well, that's all I'm gonna say.
Looking back at it, it was one of the games that was provided to me by ANC Games. So once I was finished, I wanted to give it back to them. So I didn't have a chance to play it through again, but there's a lot of stuff that I could have done now that I think about it. Sometimes I was a little too over the top in terms of what I did to certain people in certain situations, and other situations I just kind of like should have went a little further. I don't know, whatever. Number 4, Beyond Two Souls. Number 3. Wow, it's a really awkward video. Number 3 is Super Mario 3D World. Super Mario 3D Land made my top 5 a couple years ago. This is no different. It's a Nintendo game that makes me smile. I love the suit. It was a really great experience, and it left such an impact on me the first time I played it with. Like that was my first time playing with you and Hooped. Let's play later, and it was just great. That is the reason. If you're on the fence about a Wii U and you're a fan of Nintendo franchises, that is the reason to get a Wii U at this point. There are other good games on it, but that is the reason. Number 3. So number 2. Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I've always been a fan of Grand Theft Auto since Part 5. I've played since Part 3. I've played Part 3. I've played Vice City. I've played San Andreas. And I didn't get a chance to play the offshoots from Part 4, but I played Part 4, and I played the stories from Liberty City, stories from whatever. Number 5 is the best Grand Theft Auto game. Bar none. I don't find it to have the strongest soundtrack. The VGX Awards solidified that as probably one of the worst examples of music I've ever seen performed live back on that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, try to find it. It's pretty much all the music that was performed live was terrible. The reason why Grand Theft Auto 5 did not make my number 1 is because Grand Theft Auto is, if anything else, a jack of all trades and a master of none. So even though there's so many great experiences, every Grand Theft Auto game will have a great experience, and I share this, but I'm nervously looking at the monitor, making sure that the red light's still on and that my verbal diarrhea has not gone overboard with my very chaotic top 5. But as enjoyable as the thing as it is, and I haven't played the online thing, because quite frankly, I'm not really a fan of online gaming, and even though it looks great, and all my friends are having a great time with it, I would rather personally like move on. Whatever, that's kind of like our shtick, right? So, congratulations Rockstar on your phenomenal sales, crushing fucking Call of Duty. Even though that they were saying they had the same sales, don't fucking kid yourselves, okay? Don't kid yourselves. Call of Duty's on the wane, I'm not gonna shit talk it. I'm currently playing Call of Duty Ghosts on PlayStation 4. I'm enjoying it more than I expected to, which isn't a slight to it, but I rarely enjoy first-person games, so I see why people like it from a quality standpoint. But yeah, so number two, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 1. Not only is this the best game of 2013, Mike and I will actually debate, because we have different feelings on this, but as far as I stand, this is the most important and best game of the generation that's passing us. This is a game that solidified PlayStation 3 as a system to have for exclusives. Now, we all know, we don't need to get into it, you know, like a lot of developers, programmers had a hard time with the PS3, it was third party and trying to make it work on both, and so the default system for both of us, and you can see from our collections, is Xbox 360, right? Because you knew it was safe and it was always a risk. But when it came to exclusives, the last exclusive on Xbox 360 that I liked was tied for number 1 in my 2010? Yeah, 2010 top 5, and it was Alan Wake. And I'm really looking forward to the next game. That was me looking forward to the next game. Holy fuck! I know it's speaking into my hands. But something that kept me coming back to the PlayStation is that I couldn't really care about third-party games on it. But when it came to the first party, I noticed there was a bit of a gap from them and their competition. And the Uncharted games really brought that to fold. How Metal Gear Solid 4 was and all that. But The Last of Us. Shameless plug, thank you to NC Games, as I got this fucking day of launch, and without them I wouldn't have gotten it, because this sold out like nobody's business. It was a very important game. It was a beautiful game from beginning to end. I've already played it 4 times, I think. At some point, I'm going to divulge my PSN ID to people, so you can just kind of like wonder like what kind of recluse loser I am for some of the accomplishments that some of the trophies I've got in that game. But seriously, guys, if you have not played this game, and you only have time to play one game in the next 6 months, it's The Last of Us. It is the probably one of the most important video games made in a very long time. Like, I'm not going to say it's the most, because obviously there's some extremely groundbreaking games, but the last time I enjoyed a game this much was my favorite game from the previous generation, which would have been GameCube, PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox. And that was Resident Evil 4 on GameCube. So for me to say that, and I played that between the GameCube and the PS2 version, I played 120 hours of that game. And I'm not sure if I've said it on camera before, but if you go online, if you look for the game save for the GameCube Resident Evil 4 hand cannon, it's got a month of my fucking life playing Mercenaries. So, The Last of Us is beautiful. I'm not going to ruin anything about this game because it is so heavily story driven, but the control is great. People look at it and they'll think it's Uncharted, and it's not. fuck, it is not Uncharted. I love the Uncharted games, but it is leaps and bounds better.
Yeah.
It is truly an epic achievement in gaming. This game will challenge you like none other. And it's great to see games like BioShock Infinite as well, kind of rising to the occasion of subject matter. This reminds me, it's a very different beast, but like 6 Days in Fallujah, which could have been a very important game and was never released because you can look online to see who backed out of that one.
Yep.
But if games are going to grow in our form, they have to push tasteful limits. You know, 12 Years a Slave is probably going to be an Oscar contender, and yet people freaked out when there was racial overtones in BioShock. So whatever. Top game for both of us for 2013. Unbelievable how many times him and I can do this.
Yeah, and we actually did not discuss this even before this video at all. Like this.
I knew where he was going, but I wanted to see on the top 30 minutes. So The Last of Us, guys, please play this game.
Yep.
Fuck, please play this game.
Alright, so 2013 is in the bag. 2014 is coming. Listen, again, we say this every year and we'll say it again. Thank you guys for supporting us, for commenting, for joining our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagrams, for everything you guys do for us. Like, believe me, it does not go unnoticed at all. We definitely not just kissing your ass. We really know, because we know there's hundreds, like literally hundreds, if not thousands now, of video game channels out there. And the fact that so many of you have come to us every week is just, it's mind-blowing. It really is. When Terence and I first started this years ago, we honestly, had no idea what to expect, and this is beyond our expectations already. So 2014, who knows, guys? We're gonna always try to entertain you. That's what it comes down to. You guys know every year we try to do something a little bit different, or kind of work with what works and what doesn't. Every year is an experiment. So really quick, Terence. Games we're looking forward to next year, really quick, and either games that are coming out or hope to come out. For me, I'll say it really quick because we discussed it before. Quantum Break on the Xbox One, because I love Remedy. I fucking love Remedy. I love the first two Max Paynes by them, and Alan Wake is still one of my favorite games of all time. I hope it comes out in 2014. Who knows? With Remedy, they release it when it's done.
And they can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem.
And the other game, I'll just mention two here, Evil Within, because I love survival horror, and as much as I do, and I still stick by Resident Evil 6, I enjoyed it, and I even said in my Resident Evil 6 review, of course I want another true survival horror game to come out, and this could be it. So I'm really hoping this is it.
You know, Big Mike, I'm just gonna piggyback off of what you said. Right. Like, obviously Remedy's new game is gonna be a must play. Like, at this point, as you said, with the Max Payne games and with Alan Wake, this may be the system seller for me to get the Xbox One. Short memory, what the fuck? Yeah, Evil Within, obviously. I've tried so hard not to pay any attention to that game.
Yeah.
And, obviously Outlast. I'm really looking forward to Outlast. Yes, it's a 2013 game, but we're getting it on a console, so, like, yes please.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to what the indie scene has. I have great hopes for the indie gaming community, and, oh, false. I thought it was in the birth. I'm drinking ginger ale. Yeah. I don't know, man. We're gonna talk about this later. In 2014, very early on, probably in January, we're going to do our AMAs, quick useless plug because it's like 30 minutes into the video or whatever, yep. But whatever, CBF AMA at outlook.com, whatever, links down below. Send us your questions. We've had great response so far, so thank you everybody, especially thank you that use the email. It's very pleasant to go to one place to read these excellent questions, and we're most likely going to answer all of them, or a very good chunk of them. But yeah, man, moving forward, I'm kind of skeptical at what this generation is going to hold for us. One of the questions that we've been asked and we're going to answer is how do we feel about YouTube and the whole content ID issue? Chargeback Forward is largely unaffected by this. Actually, I'd like to see anything be challenged. Yeah, from time to time we have, we did the, I know I shouldn't be admitting this, but obviously when we did the Street Fighter chess set thing, we had Street Fighter music. But largely we moved away from using music that wasn't, we didn't have permission to use.
Right.
I really feel bad for some people that are getting dings, but we'll go into a lot more detail about that. But that being said, I think this is a huge mistake. And I think I think indie developers are really they're really more savvy in terms of what's going on in terms of the way the media is now. And I feel that maybe the best things that we will see this generation could come from indie developers.
Could be.
And when they have a fucking day where an indie studio game cracks a top 5 or becomes game of the year for Chargeback 4. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this video is blurry. Get over it. We used a different lens that has a narrower depth of fucking focus, so I just saw the footage and whatever. We said it before, I said it again. Thank you so much, guys. In darker days of the show, like, you know, the comments that we read really uplift us. You know, I'm not saying that we have bad lives or whatever, but sometimes, it's actually, sometimes the show is like the worst part of our lives, you know, and it's kind of like, but we do enjoy doing it. Yes. Just sometimes it's a pain in the fucking ass. You know, like, I live in Raccoon City. This dude lives in the Arkley Mountains. So
pretty much.
So this is a treasure, as a treasure, and you know, like, we're friends. You know, like, we do. Yeah. We've been friends before Chargeback Forward. We'll be friends after Chargeback Forward, whenever that is. And it's kind of hard. Like, even tonight. Whatever, fuck it, we have full memory cards, so you're gonna hear the story. Tonight, before we even filmed, we probably talked for an hour. Yeah, that's true. And that's because we haven't had a one-on-one face-to-face in about a month or more. And that's it. So, thank you for enjoying our format, our non-scripted format. Very non-scripted format. Apologies for my performance tonight, but whatever, right? It's the last video of the year. A lot to say, not a lot of time to say it. Mike, man, another year. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, brother.
And 2014, AMAs in January, level 7. Hopefully, at some point, we will be working on that in the spring. And this will be the only time you hear about it until it comes out. Yep. We learned
valuable lesson.
A very valuable lesson from what we thought was going to be level 6 release until it actually did come out. So that'll never happen again. Guys, happy gaming. Merry Christmas to you. I hope everyone has a safe and happy New Year. And as always, guys, especially this time of year, take care of yourselves and each other.